Hello YouTubers! Here I'm going to start on my beekeeping part of my uploads here. And pardon my voice, I'm getting over an infection in my throat. I got it right after I got the flu, so it's been a rough weekend. I got my bees today in the mail. The post office called me twice today while I was at work to make sure I was coming to pick them up. They get pretty concerned when they have a box of bees there. I don't have them with me right now. They're in the house because it's a little cold outside and I don't want them out here where it's going to get cold tonight and they could possibly freeze and die because they don't have a hive to keep them warm yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over a quick video here, explain some stuff so I don't have to try and do it tomorrow when I'm putting 3,000 bees into their new hive. Alright, the first thing we're going to go over here is this is a hive top feeder. I order all my supplies from, I type in Kelly Bees on Google and it brings it up. I'll put the name in the description below, I promise. That's where I order all my stuff from. I ordered their kit last year, which came with the hive, two deep boxes, the hive stand, the telescoping lid, and then two supers. A queen excluder, the inner cover, and it came with the whole suit, gloves, and a smoker. And I don't know where the gloves are, but I don't use the gloves. I barely use the suit. But if you're gonna start beekeeping, though, I definitely go with a kit like that. It gives you everything you need, and you're definitely gonna want the suit no matter what phase you're starting at here, because everybody should have one. Like I said, I usually end up taking mine off about halfway through an inspection of the hive because it just gets hot out and I can't stand it, and bees don't really bother me. I've been stung 3 times. It hurts. You get over it. Anyways, this is the hive top feeder. Now, in the kit they sent me 2 feeders that go on the outside, and there's issues with them. One is your bees got to come to the front. You can't put on your entrance reducer. You have to make one your own or something. I don't even know the word for it. My brain is just out right now. It encourages robbing, that's it. It encourages robbing by other insects, bees, wasps, ants. The hive top feeder goes on top of the hive. The only way to get to it is to go through the hive, and other bees and stuff won't come in the hive without getting killed by your bees. Now the hive top feeder, this is the one Kelly's, their website sells. Now, I've seen lots of videos about these, and I gotta say, if I get another hive, this is exactly what I'm buying for it too. You can medicate your syrup in these because it's not outside, so the sun doesn't deplete this medication. The sun won't deplete the medication, so you can medicate your bees. One thing though I noticed last year is this has actually got little ridges on it so the bees can climb down, drink the sugar water. For some reason, my bees kept getting into this, dropping down in there and drowning. And it got to the point where there was so many dead bees in there that the live ones couldn't get down in to get the sugar water. So I just took little pebbles, cleaned them, put them in along the edges. That still allows plenty of the sugar water to get in. And it gives the bees something to stand on when they're down there at the sugar water. I don't know if anyone else has ever had that issues. I've actually commented on some people's videos asking them, but I haven't heard back yet. But that's what I did. That way they get down in there, they don't drown, they can stand on that. Now there's other feeders that go actually inside the hive themselves. I don't care for them. It takes up your frame space. Then you got to tear open the whole hive. This thing, I can take the telescoping lid right off the hive, pop this open, refill it, shut it, never even have to smoke the bees, never irritate them or nothing. And it's really easy that you can medicate them. I forget how much exactly this was. Worth every penny though. This is your bee brush. This also comes in the kit if you get the kit. You're going to want this. It's a very soft bristle brush. You use it to brush the bees off so you're not hurting them because their legs are very delicate. Your hive tool. Now there is another type of hive tool with a hook on it to help pop your frames out a little bit better. I'd like to get one of them, but I haven't spent the money on one yet. This is the one that they send you in the kit. Works just fine. Used for popping apart your boxes, which you'll see when we start doing inspections. And it's pretty effective of cleaning the bee glue or propolis off the edges and cleaning it off your frames. This is Honeybee Healthy. This does not come in your kit. This is a medication you give them in the spring and the fall when you do not have supers attached. It's basically like a pollen substitute. Makes them hungrier, makes them start feeding better. It smells really sweet too. It's almost, or it's a nectar almost. It's really sweet smelling. It's got the mixing instructions right on the back. It's got spearmint oil in it, which is why you don't want to use it when you got supers on. There's so many different things, and there's so many different ways that you can treat your bees. Now, my hive last year got colony collapse disorder. No one really knows what causes it. I'm not sure why. They just left. The whole hive is full of granulated syrup because they never capped it, and it just kind of turned into sugar, basically. Pollen still packed in, no larvae, and some of it actually had capped honey, which really disappointed me because it was gonna go to waste. So when I put my bees in this time, they're not gonna have to build any frames because the frames already been built. They're just gonna have to pretty much clean out the old junk that they don't want in there and eat they'll have some honey to eat themselves. Plus, I'll have the hive top feeder to help them along there. But you do have to treat your bees in the fall. You will not have to treat your first. And I apologize for my voice. I'm amazed I can even talk. You do not have to treat your bees with anything for foul brood, anything like that, when you get them from a reputable dealer. Now, the place I ordered them from, they shipped them to the post office. I actually picked the ship date. I went with Italian bees this year. I had Russians last year, and I went with the Italians this year. They're supposed to be better at producing honey and less aggressive. I didn't have any issue with the Russians being aggressive, but I didn't even get one drop of honey out of any of the supers. They just started to draw them out and then withdrew to the bottom, and then the next thing you know, they just disappeared right before winter. So my hive sat all winter. Actually transferred it from where it was to where I live now. But this is pretty simple to mix. Like I said, the instructions are on the back. When you get your bees from a reputable dealer, they've already been treated. They treat them first thing in the spring. When you get your cage, it'll actually come with the queen bee and a separate her own cage. And there will be a small plug, and I know some of them say you have to put a marshmallow in it. The place I get them from, you actually pull the cork out, there's a small piece of hard candy in there, you're good to go. Put it in, after you dump your bees in on them, half on in the cage, half on her. You'll see tomorrow when I do that. That might even be a separate video, depending on how long this one runs. And the reason you have to let that queen in her cage is she's not those bees' queen. When they get the bees, they take a vacuum out to the hive and actually vacuum off about 3 pounds, which is about 3,000 bees. Put them in that crate, and they put that queen in there. They're not used to her. They would kill her if you let her out immediately. You gotta wait until they're in the hive in an enclosed area and realize that they don't have a queen anymore, and the only pheromones they smell is her. Then they accept her, they'll chew the candy and let her out. Tomorrow, the procedure tomorrow for putting the bees in is you're gonna spray them down with a light mist of sugar water, which I don't have a spray bottle yet, so I'm gonna have to work on that. Spray them down with a light mist of sugar water, same sugar water you're gonna put in here. That'll actually calm them down. Then you're gonna shake them to the bottom, take the queen cage out, put hers in the hive, and then dump them into the hive on top of half over top of her, and then half into the open spaces. Put your frames back in. You'll see all that tomorrow. I just wanted to get some of the basic stuff done on the video so that you have a pretty good idea. Hiving the bees, when I first decided to do this, my uncle got into it. He talked to me about it a little bit. Next thing you know, I'm hooked. I wanted to try it myself. Hiving the bees for your first time is got to be the most nerving experience until you do it. Once you do it, you can't wait till next year to get another box of bees and do it again. You're actually putting these bees into their hive, the chances of you getting stung are pretty minimal. Bees usually only sting when you step on them by accident in the field, which I've done hundreds of times, or when you're walking through your yard, or if you're attacking their hive. That is the only 2 times a bee. If you find a bee out in the grass and you try and pick it up, it'll most likely just try and get away from you. They only get defensive at their hive, or if you were to smash one by accident. So when you're in that hive, that's when they're more aggressive. when you're actually putting them into there, they don't have a hive right now, so they don't have a queen to protect, they don't have brood to protect, they don't know what's going on. So when you're dumping them, especially when you spray them down with that sugar water, at that point they're more or less in a food coma. They're eating the sugar, they're wet, they really can't fly, they don't have a home, they're actually kind of calm. So once you see this, it's nerving. But when you're a first-time beekeeper, when you actually get through with it and you actually done it the first time, it's actually probably one of the funnest parts of doing it. And last year when I did it, I dumped them in, took off my gear, and I actually sat next to the hive and just watched them figure out where the entrance was and stuff, and they landed on me and didn't sting me. Alright, this video is pretty much for people that have never worked with bees before, so it's a kind of an instruction video to know what you're getting into. This is your smoker. Comes with your, let me adjust this here. You don't need to see me now. This is your smoker. Comes with the kits if you get it. If not, buy one. Don't go cheap. They're already a pain to light. Last thing you want to do is get a cheap one. Once you get them going pretty good, you'll figure it out. This does not come with the kit. This is actually to grab your frames and help pull them out. I bought this and I think I've used it once. I mean, if you get into the habit of using it, it's very helpful. And I actually bought it so I wouldn't get stung picking up frames. And the day I got it, I didn't use it, and I got stung. And it was because I was rolling the frame and pinched a bee. This is your bee suit. Like I said, this one came with it. This is a full suit. It's not like a helmet separate. And this actually, I'm probably going to wash this. It needs washed. Bees do not like stuff that stinks, so put on deodorant. And word of caution, do not eat bananas before you work on your beehive. When a bee stings you, the scent that comes out of its stinger smells like bananas. I haven't had it happen, but I can only assume if it smells like bananas and you were to eat bananas and then go work on your beehive, they might consider you a threat or consider that you've already been stung. So this is actually going to get washed tonight. I don't know where the gloves are. I'm not going to really worry with them tomorrow. When you do this, though, you want to make sure you're wearing some kind of boot or something that you can tuck your socks into, because you don't want bees coming up into your pant leg. Anyways, I find them very relaxing. I enjoy working with them. The whole pain in the part of the entire beekeeping thing is probably lighting the smoker. That's the most difficult part you have the entire time. Ted, I will say it is a very expensive hobby. I think the kit itself, it came with the bees now because they're normally about $130. I think the kit itself cost almost $500. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Now I came with the bees, like I said. This year I had to order myself new bees, and they cost $130 with the queen that's marked. And a marked queen, they actually put a dot on her back so it's easier to find, and the dots are color coded to the year so you know how old the queen is, so you know when you need to replace her. Which, if you're even considering getting into beekeeping, before you buy even a brush, anything like that, get a book, get literature. When you buy this kit, it comes with 2 books. One's by the guy that started the company, and another one I can't remember. Both are good books. If you're considering getting into beekeeping, buy Beekeeping for Dummies. I've read 4, almost 5 books now on beekeeping. The best one that I've read is Beekeeping for Dummies. I got it on my Kindle when my uncle started beekeeping just to read up on it because I thought it was interesting. I saw a video on YouTube of the guy hiving the bees. Got on. The book was like $9. I might buy it in hardcover too, just so I have it. And I'm actually going to read it some tonight to get my syrup recipes right, because I can never remember them. The book, start to cover, it's just information, and it's delivered to you in such an easy way to understand. I can't sit down and read a textbook about history for 3 hours unless it's interesting. I read that entire book in like 2 days. Probably read it 3 or 4 times since then. Just brushing up. It goes into detail from everything about the bee's life cycle to the body parts, and then it goes over all your medication information, right down to how to hive the bees, what to look for in your inspections. It gives you basically a schedule of what to do every month. In the spring, inspecting, checking their sugar supplies and everything like that. right up until winter, getting ready to winterize, what you need to do for winterizing, all the methods for keeping mites off your bees. It's the most helpful book. Beekeeping for Dummies, and there's no one paying me to say that. It's just, that's going to be probably your best book out of all the ones I've read so far. That is going to be your best book to get. I read that one time, I was hooked. I got online because I read in the book somewhere it says you should order your bees in the fall so you have them for next year, because they take orders ahead of time, because they actually grow those queens separate to meet their orders. I read that, jumped online that day, threw it on my credit card. A week later I had my beehive box here, put it together, painted it, I was ready to go. It was sitting up in the barn waiting for the bees all winter long. Another thing that I'm going to go over real quick, plastic frames versus wooden frames with wax foundations. I got all the wax ones because a lot of people said that the plastic ones are horrible, nobody likes them. I don't remember who all said that, but the wax ones do not put the foundations in until you are ready to put them in the actual box. I went and put my first 2 deep boxes together. The foundations warped and bent like this. I had to pretty much pin them back up because the ones I got didn't come with the wire through them. I had issues, they were warping. One of them actually broke. I had a horrible time with it, and I decided I wasn't going to use the wax, or I wasn't going to use the wooden ones with the wax foundation for my second deep. I went online and ordered all plastic ones. When you order the kit, they ask you the size of your supers you want, which I went with medium because there's medium and shallows. I went with medium, and they ask you what kind of frames you want. I'm going with the plastic. I'm going to actually probably order plastics for the super because they're less likely to break than the wax ones. You don't have the issue with when you're storing them somewhere, moths getting into them and eating the wax. And I haven't had any issue. I've used the plastic ones in the second deep, and the bees drew them out, no problem. They didn't seem to have any issue with it at all. That's what my uncle went with, is the plastic ones. I don't know why people say maybe they've just had bad experiences with them, but I would recommend, like I said, I personally would recommend the plastic ones, especially for beginners. They're just so much easier to work with. You have less issues. They're just, overall, I think, better. And this video is already running a little long, so that's where we're going to leave it at today. And I'm going to come back in tomorrow, hopefully because it's also raining today. Hopefully my voice is back a little bit better. I've been on these antibodies for like 3 days now and taking painkillers. And it's supposed to only have a chance of rain tomorrow, so I'm hoping tomorrow we can get back out here first thing as soon as I get home after work and get the tripod set up, get everything ready, and show you guys how we're going to hive these bees and kick off the first kickoff bee season here, and show you my first year in beekeeping, and hopefully get some people interested in keeping bees.